Hello, welcome back to another season of TFR eSports. We are back for season 23, as it's the long wait ahead of the drivers. Here we go then. We have 5 red lights here in Melbourne. And we are underway for season 23, and Nitrogen then gets a good start. A bit of wheel spin though for Codematic before that second phase there, and it is Darky already up in second place. There's a bit of ghosting going on, and the Red Bull's already made contact. He's down into fourth, Nepatel's up into third, and there's another car off in the background. That's an RB of, Williams of Penzug off in the background. There goes Nepatel then, up the inside, and he's off. He's off the track, got too ambitious, and there's another RB in the wall. There's Ronnie in the barrier. There's another car off as well. Red Bull getting off the circuit there. So chaos at the start of this one, Ewan. But we shouldn't be surprised with Australia.
Oh, I don't know where to look. It's stuff going on everywhere. Oh, calm down, guys. Calm down.
Earlier there, and he's actually got a terrible exit, and there is Hugo Skywalker down the inside in this corner. You don't see him move often there. They just about keep it nice and clean, and Codematic might just get away with it, but he got all sorts out of shape there, and he's actually lost the DRS now to Darky. So there is the split in the field there at the top. Those two need to be careful here, Ewan, that they don't get scrapping too hard, or else the top two will get way off down the road.
Looks like Nolva's going to try and go for a move though into turn 3 here. He's going to be, he's going up the inside there of Nitrogen.
And it's job done. Look at that. Oh, and what a switchback. Superb. Look at that. What a move. Oh, bit of contact for good measure. But what a great overtake that was from Nitrogen to come back at him there.
It'll take a minute forever, but there's too much action everywhere.
And there he goes. There's another change of the lead. That's Darky now back ahead of Nitrogen. That just shows how powerful the DRS. Look at that Williams though there. Absolutely sideways through that left and right section there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... Oh, Nolva's had a slight moment on the final corner. It looks like the boat getting past him. That's cost him massively, but yeah.
Well, Hugo might try and take the lead.
Yeah.
Well, Darky with a critical error there. I was saying the car looked a little bit out of shape, but Hugo now with a great opportunity to try and take the lead here. Yeah, they've both got DRS, and there is Codematic. Oh, Darky's going to try to hang it on. They've made contact, and Codematic has got away with it because I thought that was going to end in tears. And Slick does get it done as well. And there is a move for the lead, and that's Nitrogen off into the gravel. You can just see there in the corner of your screen, Nitrogen getting way too hot there through that corner and slides off. And after having such a great start to this race, Ewan, it's all gone to tears because he's down into 6th.
I think we've cursed him.
We do have a change for the lead. Look at that, Darky. Yeah, going right around the outside of Hugo here. He's going to try and hang it on and get the better traction and can't quite get it done. It's great racing once again, but Hugo is in the lead of this one then on lap 7.
Catching up, he needs to overtake Hugo as quick as he can and try and get off into the distance. Oh, brilliant move on the outside there.
Oh, that was brave.
He's messed his exit up a little bit. Oh, he's got the DRS, so it's fine. Should be able to get away. There's a lot of battery left, so he can try and get off away into the distance from Hugo.
It was brave, that is for sure, and just about managed to keep it all together. Sector. So once again, they change at the top, and Vectro's going back at Milk and Mike there, right around the outside of that corner. You don't know where to look in this one, because here comes Darky once again for the lead here. He takes it back off Hugo Skywalker, and let's just see behind. No, there's no more changes there, but what a move from Darky. Well, there is Darky then. He's behind those two, but he is just ahead of the Aston. No, he's not. What a brilliant overtake that is from Slick. Just setting it up perfectly there. Just a swoop around the outside of Darky. Darky obviously just coming out the pit lane was a little bit vulnerable there to the overtake, but it's a great move from Slick in the end there, Ewan, and that's now 2 Aston Martins in a net top 3 here. 2 seconds off, so Hugo's definitely made a mistake here, and this could be a change for the lead. Here goes Codematic then with a DRS on the Aston Martin, and on lap 16 here, Codematic is going to take the lead here.
So he doesn't get caught up in it.
Oh, look at that for a move. That was ambitious, and I'm not quite sure where that's come from Hugo. Absolutely chucking it up the inside of Codematic there. How on earth they didn't make any contact, I'm not quite sure. Once again on Hugo here, this is the nature of this circuit. It's absolutely relentless. And here he comes then, trying to take the lead. He's going to go to the inside through this left-hander. How brave is he? Not quite brave enough. And he's going to get a good exit though. Look at that. He's going to go to the outside on Hugo, and look,
Darky
don't forget
wants to take
Darky
it,
here.
though.
They're three
Oh, they
wide.
go 3 wide.
Incredible. And Darky sends it down the inside, the pair of them. It's Codemanic, though, who will take the lead. But how on earth? They haven't crashed yet. I'm not quite sure. But it's...
I don't know where to go.
Oh!
Nitrogen's right on the back of them. Oh, they're at it again.
Yeah, Darky having a look at the inside. They're almost four. There's going to be 4 wide here going into the first corner at this rate. Hugo takes the pair of them into the first corner as he now takes the lead on the third last lap here. And, I can hardly watch. Look at this. All 4 of them are so close. Nitrogen is going to try and take the pair of them, which is absolutely nuts. And there is Darky off the track.
Nitrogen was trying to play it smart by keeping a gap so then he's within the 3 seconds at the end, but he...
Oh, God, that's Darky in the wall. Oh, what an unfortunate crash that is for him. He's in the barrier and just couldn't quite hold on to the car as Nitrogen now is up into second place. But what a shame for Darky. He's driven brilliantly in this one, but that's not going to happen. It is going to be Nitrogen here in Melbourne, and he is going to win down under for a thrilling first race in F2 Season 23. Nitrogen then wins for Ferrari with Hugo second. Codemanic there hitting the barrier actually up to the line. Still going to be plenty of racing to come. It's a long wait here, but here come the lights then ahead of the drivers. We've got 5 red lights here in China. And we are underway here in F2. Hugo then gets a pretty good launch, and so too does Nitrogen. He's already covering off the Aston Martin behind him. He's going to have a little look to the inside, but he can't get it done. Hugo then continues to lead, and Slick then is now trying to come back at Nitrogen, going through this first corner. They're all keeping it fairly neat and tidy, but there goes Slick then, trying to run the outside of Nitrogen. Can he get the right traction out of turn 2 there? Yes, he can. He moves up then into second place. They're still wheel to wheel. They're actually touching tyres before this next corner, but Slick then gets the job done. It's a 1-2 for Aston Martin. There's contact behind. That's Ronnie getting a little bit too aggressive up the inside into the hairpin, Ewan, and he is dropped right down almost into last place.
Yeah, that is terrible for Ronnie in the V-carb, the other V-carb, and yeah, a great start for Slick, a great start for the Aston Martin boys, and they've almost got out of DRS for Nitrogen. It's a 1-2 here for Aston Martin, and it's absolute chaos at the back.
Yeah, look at that. That's Nepatal and the Red Bull of Codemanic they're going with. Well, there is Milky Mikey as well in the mix. So right old scrap there for P7 and the DRS. And he's going to move to the inside or the outside. He's going to go to the outside then on Hugo, and it's going to be an easy pass. Look at that. Slick then takes the lead, and you wonder now, surely they've got to play a bit of teamwork here with the DRS, like you were saying there, Ewan, because if they start squabbling like this, then Nitrogen will catch right up to them.
Exactly, this is advantage Aston Martin as Hugo Skywalker goes for the move, and that's a DRS swap. So Hugo Skywalker in the lead, and going into the pit lane, you have to do the right lap to stop, and these Aston Martins are going to have to stop at different times.
But that is Darky there, not quite able to make the most of where he was. And we got the RB off. That is Ronnie absolutely travelling into the barrier at almighty speed there. And he's in the wall, and that is a full course safety car. And I was just saying they were all sliding around, and there is the proof of it, Ewan. The thing is, if this is a quick... Oh, no, they're staying out. They are staying out. So Slick comes in, Hugo stays out. And the Ferrari of Nitrogen comes in. You don't absolutely imagine it. They'll all dive in the pit lane, and it's a bit of a no-brainer. It is. They're all coming in. That is surely a huge error there from Hugo, because he will have to come in the pits, surely. The safety car quickly here, and I think that's deliberate, you know, Ewan, because look at Slick coming down the back straight here. He is going at an absolute snail speed through that hairpin there, and that is categorically deliberate. And I don't know, maybe I would need to double check the rules myself, to be honest, if there's anything illegal with that. But certainly it reminds me a little bit of Saudi Arabia a few seasons ago in real life. And there's a couple of cars in the pit lane here. I'm not quite sure why they've dived in.
It's underway now.
Well, here we go. He's just about timed that right. And I tell you, I think Darky and Milky Mike there made a bit of contact going on to start finish straight. And they're almost 3 wide then for second place here. Look at this. They've got the RB on the outside, the McLaren on the inside, the Williams in the middle. And Darky's going to hang on somehow to that position. He's got Milky Mike, though, coming back at him up the inside. Gets it job done just about? No, Darky hangs on. That is the nature of the start of the lap here. It is so never-ending with the corners, and they are still wheel-to-wheel. Milk and Mike then will have the inside line this time around and should get late on the brakes and get it done. And yes, he has. No, he still hasn't got a good enough exit, and they are still going at it now through the quick left-hander. And Darky will have that inside line. And no, there goes Milk and Mike off the track, just like Ronnie. This time he's able to catch it. But just a snap in the middle of the corner, just as the car can't quite grip to the circuit, Ewan. And, well, he's lost out massively there. But he's coming back at him. He's got the slipstream and got very, very close to the gearbox of that Haas there. But he's going to get late on the brakes. He's going to take the Williams with him if he's not careful. Oh, how on earth those two didn't pirouette around, I'm not quite sure. And a ruthless guy just unable to pick up the pieces. But Darky there, I hope he saw the RB coming, as we have DRS enabled somehow, considering it's still chucking it down in rain. They won't have it until the end of the lap. But Darky survives then in second place. Meanwhile, all that's going on. Slick has absolutely got off into the distance, and look at this for P6. Milk and Mike hanging around the outside, literally drifting through the first corner there, around the outside of Hugo. Can't quite get it done. We'll try and hang it on there on the Aston Martin. There's a little bit of contact as well, but we go back towards the front though, because that is a ruthless guy going around the outside then of Nepatal, who's hanging it on the inside of him, and will remain in third place. And there is action left, right and centre here, Ewan.
Exactly, Hugo Skywalker and the Mercedes and the McLaren all come together, and the McLaren gets
the merge together.
The Mercedes are merging together, and the Mercedes Luxury Red is just staying out ahead. Now McLaren's involved, and then 11 through goes Hugo Skywalker up to P6 on the ears. And what a move! That was all going on in that second sector, and Hugo Skywalker is finally up to P6.
Gaining on the Haas driver ahead of him, and he will get the job done. Look at that, easy as you like. And we'll have once again the inside line then for this hairpin, and moves himself up into third place. This is not over yet. We are on lap 18 of 20, and it's looked like Slick has had this covered through most of the second half of this race. But Novix Darky here, he is putting up a challenge. He is really going for it.
In the wet on the last few laps.
Oh, and we've had a moment there, and that is Nitrogen. He's got a puncture. The rear right tyre, and you're absolutely right, Ewan. That means punches are definitely on the cards here, because his tyres are only 13 laps old, and he's gone round. That's the Ferrari round, so keep your eyes peeled. Anything could happen in this final half of the lap. What a dramatic end to this Chinese GP, because look at that. The gap is down to 8 tenths, Ewan. Incredible stuff.
Championship leader is going to get minimal points.
But there is Slick. He's going to crawl around the final corner, and he will dramatically win the F2 Chinese GP. What a finish that was in the end. Darky is second. Hugo Skywalker will come home in third to make it 2 Astons on the podium. But Hugo is going to get away with it, and he will win the F2 Qatar Sprint. But what a close finish that was. Up into 8th. Here come the 2 Aston Martins then. We've got Slick and Hugo. And Slick is only third, but it is Hugo who goes on to pole at the minute. But there's Nitrogen in the background. He goes third as well. So Nitrogen is for free guys, got a 5-second grid penalty for a collision with that Haas. So he will be down the order. He was on a lap actually. So he will be absolutely furious with that one. But never mind that. It is Hugo then on pole for the main race. But it just showed you in that lap from Darky, it was good enough. Here it's all about if Darky can beat Hugo into the first corner. We're about to find out. We've got 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And we are underway here in Qatar, and Darky then does get a fairly good start, but gets a hell of a lot of wheel spin then in that second phase. And there is the McLaren of Milk and Mike, almost having a little go down the inside to try and take second place. Can't quite do it. They'll have the Ferrari of Nitrogen now trying to get back up into third. They make contact, both get away with it, and Nitrogen does indeed move back up into third place. But Darky then got a good initial launch, but that wheel spin cost him badly, and there's more shenanigans going on in the background. That's Slick getting picked off. Your driver second in the championship. He has had an awful start here, Ewan.
Yeah, exactly. Slick with a bad start, and that's a McLaren of Action Vic spinning out in the background as lots of people jockeying side by side. Neptal and Koonmatic fighting once again. Yep, lap 4 out of 20, and the rain has stopped. So let's see what will happen as Milky Mike going for a move down the inside of Nitrogen. And that is a great move. He had the pace, but will Nitrogen go for it back? Yes, he will. Down the inside at turn 1. They're still going to be side by side. Milking Mike with the inside, and he almost slides into Nitrogen, taking him out. But Nitrogen has that racing line and is still ahead of Milking Mike here.
Well, he's almost pushing the Ferrari along there. They're all struggling for grip with these sudden changing of conditions, and he's getting out of shape there again. Then Slick might just have a little look around the outside, can't quite get it done, has to just sit behind the McLaren, but well, Milk and Mike trying to get back at Nitrogen here. They both lost out.
Yes,
oh, we got Darky. It's Darky in the wall.
Wow.
He has spun coming out of the pits. Oh, I don't believe it. This guy's luck is just something. I mean, he's left the session. He'll be absolutely furious. I'm going to go to Hugo Skywalker. He comes around the final corner here, and this is total domination for Hugo. He wins here in Qatar, and it was, well, ever since Darky crashed, it was done and dusted for your new championship leader. And Slick then gets the fast lap on the last lap there. What a time that is. On pole position, there's another driver that's head the line, and that's Luke 2 Red. That is Luke 2 Red going quickest of everybody at the very end there. There is Slick though, just beating him at the line at the very depth of this session. He sets a 1:8.3 to snatch it away from Luke 2 Red. And we're about to find out what's going to happen here tonight. We've got 5 red lights ahead of the drivers here in Austria. And we are underway. Slick then gets a pretty good launch. So too does Luke 2 Red. But I think Darky's got the best of the bunch. And he's having a little look to the outside on the Mercedes. Can he get late on the brakes? Not quite. Gets pushed a bit wide there by Luke 2 Red. And Free Guy might just pick up the pieces behind. We've got the Mercedes of Mindmaster off at the very back. So a terrible start for the debutant. There is Free Guy then looking to the inside on Luke 2 Red. Can't get it done, and there's the Aston Martin in the background of Hugo. He might get in trouble for that. That was a very late dive bomb at the inside, and he's got caught up in all sorts of trouble. He's down into 15th place in the end, and he's facing the wrong way. Your championship leader. There is Free Guy then on Slick. There's the Ferrari of Nitrogen as well on Darky, and they're 3 wide just behind. Who's going to come out on top in this one? There's more contact between the lot of them. Nitrogen is hanging it around the outside, but he can't get it done. So Darky then takes third. Luke 2 Red getting picked off a little bit at the start, but let's have a very quick glance. There is Hugo Skywalker with a broken front wing. All right, I'll go at Slick there into turn 3. I'll have another go here down the inside into turn 4, and with the DRS and the late braking, gets it done. Brilliant stuff then from the American. He takes the lead here then in Austria. He's still got Slick coming back at him, but he'll have the more favourable line here. They make contact, but Free Guy hangs on ahead of Slick. Slick gets a little bit wide, almost dips a wheel in the gravel, and behind Darky having a hang on from Nitrogen. We've also got the 2 Haas drivers running very well here in 5th and 6th. Slick then he's going to move to the outside on Free Guy. He's got Darky right behind as well, getting interested, but Slick tries to hang it right around the outside, and he gets it done. Brilliant move then from Slick. That's what he needed to do. There's been an almighty tangle behind though. What on earth has happened there? There's yellow flags left, right and centre. That's Nep and Tal and somebody else. But there is Free Guy coming back at Slick into turn 4. Can't get alongside the Aston Martin enough there. So Slick does maintain the lead, but look at Nitrogen right behind. Here comes Slick then with the DRS, and will surely get it done then into turn 4. Not quite. Free Guy's hanging on. He is hanging on around the outside, and he'll now have the better line for this next corner, but Slick is keeping it going, and they make contact. They do make contact, and Free Guy has to concede the position for exceeding track limits. So too the CJ. He goes down the inside then on Free Guy. He's run out of patience, and he's half spun out on the exit of the first corner. That's now allowed Nitrogen then into the lead of this race, but Slick picking up the penalty and then getting a bit frustrated there. He just needs to stay out of the wars here. We've got a big old shunt in the background. That's Darky, and that has brought out a safety car. was waiting for a safety car in this race at some point, and there we have it. And it's sadly, I have to say sadly, it's Darky once more. So in the contention here, don't rule him out for going all the way for the win in there again. Very close there into turn 3. There is the Ferrari then coming under pressure from Slick. Slick's going to go right around the outside, and there's Codematic as well, making an opportunistic move. He's made contact, I think, with my master, because he's dropped behind him as well. There is Codematic. He's going all the way here, trying to win his first ever race in TFR eSports. He's gone right around the outside of the Ferrari. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. Brilliant move then from Codematic. He is currently in the net lead of this race. An AI anyway, so who the hell cares about that? Because Codematic here with the DRS wide open can't get ahead of Free Guy. Free Guy's got DRS himself, so he can get it done. They make contact. Codematic just boots the Sauber out of the way, and I mean, you've got to give that place up, because you do not want to give yourself a penalty if you've got the chance of winning this race, these final few laps. But Slick is going to cross the line to win this race on track, but it is going to be Codematic who absolutely incredibly wins for the first time in his TFR eSports career. What a victory that is. And staying 6th, and so too this year. This might just open the door, but my master, look at that, 2 tenths clear of the rest from absolutely nowhere. I mean, wait for this one. Here we go then. We're finally about to get underway. We've got 5 red lights here in Barcelona, and we are underway, and it's a good start then from my master. Hugo then as well gets alongside a terrible camera angle. There he is alongside before this first corner. Can he get punchy on the brakes? How much does he want to risk? No, he can't do it. Oh, the McLaren just avoids him just behind, but it is my master who maintains that lead. Gets a bit out of shape there though. Might just allow Hugo to come back at him at this never-ending left-hander here. But Hugo is actually going to have to think about behind him, because Milk and Mike is right on his tail. But the top 3 all remain in the same order.
Dark Shadow down in the Ferrari into 14th as the Alpine and Nitrogen side by side down in turn 7 and 8, and Nitrogen comes out on top. But these conditions are treacherous, and I won't be surprised if there's any mistakes from anyone.
Absolutely, and be prepared for anything in this one. So then Hugo now leads the way then on this opening lap.
As my master is looking very close, Hugo Skywalker.
Absolutely, very, very close. And there goes my master to the inside. Will he get late on the brakes? They're very close going into this first corner. And Hugo does enough to hold on to the lead there. He was not giving that up, but so too is the Mercedes. He has the inside line into this corner, which is where you don't normally see overtakes. Almost trying to take the opportunity there with a better grip out of the corner, and will now have the inside line for this next corner and has the job done, although Hugo's trying to switch back on the Mercedes. Great racing between the two of them, but Hugo can't get it done. He has to just drop back into second place, and great overtaking there from my master. I mean, he put on a show to get pole, Ewan, and he's just shown in his driving skills there to make a brilliant overtake. And then there has been a crash. There has been. It's Milk and Mike, and that's a safety car. He's coming into the pits, and he hit the wall. I was surprised someone hadn't done that yet. Pretty interesting battle between the two of them here, because they're keeping it very clean. But there goes Slick then. That's the move finally. And I wonder, Ewan, if Hugo is just giving it up there and decided there's no point in fighting this with the penalty that I've got. He might go for a move now, and there he goes down the inside then on Slick. Has to get the anchors out just to get slowed down. They make contact. That's Slick driving right into the back of the McLaren there. I don't think he's got any damage. Slick's going to hang around the outside on this corner though, and makes a brilliant move right around the outside there on Milk and Mike. But this is just bringing Hugo right back into play here, with Nitrogen just in the background ready to pick up the pieces, as Hugo again gets sideways out that final corner. But he might now have an opportunity to come back at these two. But here comes Milk and Mike on Slick again. Look at the straight line speed in that McLaren. He's up into second place.
Codematic, with all this scrapping, might be in a chance for a podium, as they're going to be side by side once again into turn 4. Slick with the inside and makes the move stick, but Milking Mike, can he go for it back into turn 5? He has a bit of a moment, but will he send it down the inside? No.
Here in Barcelona, and he's going to take the win here as he comes around the final corner. He has absolutely dominated this one in wet Barcelona. He wins. My master picks up his first ever victory in TFR eSports, because there is Hugo Skywalker. He's going to round the final corner, and what a sprint race that was. Hugo Skywalker wins the British GP sprint here. This is going to be a parade to the line for Hugo Skywalker, because nobody is going to beat him in the end. They've all bottled it under the pressure, and he hits the curb. He might not actually extend his advantage here after that little mistake, but he hits the line, and he does. Look at that, a 26.4. He goes even faster, and what a statement that is. 3.5 attempts clear of his teammate. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Silverstone. And we are underway for the F2 British Grand Prix, and Hugo then doesn't get as good of a start this time around, and his teammate is going to get alongside him into the first corner. They're going to go wheel to wheel here, your two title rivals, and Slick then just couldn't quite capitalise on that one there. Didn't quite get the best second phase, and Hugo does get back ahead of Slick, but he had a good launch there, and he will have another opportunity down the Wellington straight here. So behind, Darky still stays in third. My Master, Milk and Mike are going wheel to wheel in the background, and Slick is unable to get close enough. But look at those two behind. That is My Master still ahead of Milk and Mike, but a fairly clean start here.
And will he go for a move down into Village? He will. He is. Down the inside for the race lead. They're going to be side by side with two Aston Martins side by side. Hugo Skywalker keeps up in front, and Norvex Darky is getting involved as well. They're going to be side by side down the Wellington Straight. What was going to happen here?
Oh, look at this. I mean, I think Hugo might hit the curb and it offset his teammate, but Slick's going to hang around the outside. What a move this could be if he could pull that off, and he might just have done it, you know, because he kept it on the circuit, and he will now have the inside line for this next corner. And what a brilliant overtake that is, with the DRS and the straight line speed. Gets it done on Hugo, and here comes Darky then as well. He's in the slipstream of the other Aston Martin, trying to think about an overtake into Cops. He'd be a brave man to try that.
There was Hugo Skywalker is also going for the race lead. Here comes Norvex Darky also going for it down the inside, and that is back to how it was. Hugo Skywalker back into P1.
Hugo seems a bit defenseless here, and there goes Slick then with the DRS on Hugo, and he pushes him wide. Look at that, and Darky's going to get the pair of them. Unbelievable. They make contact, and they almost both go off, and now Hyperghost is up into second. Milk and Mike's in the wall. He's in the wall, and he's down into 8th place. Disaster. And absolute disaster for Milk and Mike. But how about that, Ewan? Darky and Slick, though, that was hilarious. They both merged together.
Exactly, they were 3 wide into Luffield, and it was all going to happen. They stuck together, and Milk and Mike comes off worse, and it's 8th and 9th for the McLaren, and Hyper Ghost is going to take the race lead. But what can Norvex Darky do as well? They're going to be 3 wide once again.
Look at this, 3 wide, down the hanger straight, and they make contact. That's Hugo now round, and Slick now is back up into 3rd place after all that going on. So Hyperghost now drops down into 3rd, Slick is up into 2nd, the 2 Alpines have made contact. Hariboman is now down into 7th place. What on earth is going on at the start of this one? His teammate here, and he's feeling the pressure from Hyperghost, you'd have to say, because here comes Hyperghost. They're going to go 3 wide down the hanger straight here, and Hyperghost is going to take the lead. He gets the pair of them, and the 2 Aston Martins, they're absolutely caught out by Hyperghost, who has the penalty here, but obviously now is on the same penalties as Hugo, who hangs it around the outside. He makes a bit of contact, and he's now going to drop behind his teammate once more. Oh, and there's a little lunge from the Mercedes on Hugo. He still can't get past him, and Hugo doing well there to defend, maybe just trying to hold off the Mercedes for his teammate to get the win here. Who knows what he's thinking, but Hugo just able to hold off My Master there, and in the background it was a ruthless guy that picked off Penta, but again that Haas driver has 13 seconds of penalties here, so he really isn't in contention. We've got under 5 laps to go here, and Hyperghost has now got another penalty, and I've got no idea who is going to win this one, because this is going to go right down to the wire. My Master then will have the DRS, so too does Hugo, but I don't think Hugo can do anything about it, because that Mercedes has absolutely breezed past, but he's going to hang on. They make contact, and for Slick's case here, this is absolutely critical that Hugo holds him off, but he can't do so, Ewan.
Yeah, exactly. A crucial move for My Master, getting past Hugo Skywalker, who may have played a few games to try and help out his teammate. They might be going side by side. My Master gaining. It's going to be 3 wide.
He's going to get the pair of them. Hyperghost now back into the lead. Look at the straight line speed on that Alpine, and there is Slick. He gets pushed off the circuit. He gets a penalty, and he'll be absolutely furious about that. And they make contact. Slick is down into third. Something else has gone on there because My Master's gone off the circuit, and I think he might have picked up damage. Slick is somehow back in the lead of this one, but now has a penalty, Ewan.
Exactly, and Penzug is looking for a race win if he can get past My Master.
Oh!
But My Master going for that double move on Alpine and Aston Martin. I feel like he's lost his head here, as I think it was Alpine and Hyperghost. It was the Hyperghost and My Master with a huge battle, and they got stuck together, and they're going to be side by side. It's all go here.
Yeah, My Master is still going to win this race if he can just bring it home here, because the amount of drama that happened in those couple of corners, because obviously now with Slick without penalty, that means My Master will win this race. It will be Penzug and Darky on the podium. It could be a double Williams podium once again here, just like in the sprint race. But let's just see, will My Master risk this in the closing stages to try and get the win on track, or will he realise now with that penalty at play, as Darky gets a penalty on the final lap? What's he doing, for crying out loud? He is definitely now probably not going to be on the podium, but his teammate might still be there. There's more action going on behind. We've still got My Master gaining on the Aston Martin. He's going to go up the inside. Can't get it done, and that is the smart thing to do, for crying out loud. Just back out and bring it home, because Slick is going to win on track here and will be absolutely furious to get that penalty. There's been a collision behind, but it will be My Master who wins the British Grand Prix here. And what a dramatic race that was. Penzug gets second place. What a result for him. Slick in the end is third. Code Manic stays 8th. So what a result this is at the minute for LP. But don't go anywhere, because here comes Slick then, coming down the start-finish straight, and he is up on this lap at the minute. The DRS is now going to open as he's coming up to the line, and a critical qualifying here with his teammate down in 4th. He is going to take pole right at the death there. Let's find out what's going to happen here in Azerbaijan. We've got 5 red lights ahead of the drivers, and we are underway. It's a very short run into that first corner. What a start from Hariberman. He takes the lead straight away ahead of Slick. What a start from that Alpine. And he leads the way then. It's 2 Alpines then in the top 3, with Hugo still in 4th behind. There's a Red Bull diving down the inside. Is he surely not going to get that slowed down? He's hit the wall, and I think somebody else might have caught up in that. There is a Mercedes round. There's Luke 2 Red there, and also it's My Master that is round. But there is Slick then back into the lead straight away, immediately catching Hariberman off guard there, and straight back into the lead despite that poor launch off the line. But what a start we've had here, Ewan. There's drama already. This time around on lap 4, he is surely going to overtake his teammate for the lead here, and he might just do it just before the DRS. He's not gonna, but he will take the lead of this race then on lap 5. You could see that one coming. Hugo Skywalker has the pace at the minute, starting to come off that bit more as the end of the season nears, and the stakes get bigger. Here is the helicam, and there is the move then from Slick into the first corner. A great shot that was of that overtake, and he then retakes the lead then ahead of Hugo Skywalker, and it was an easy pass in the end, Ewan. But we're going to see a little bit of that. That's how powerful the DRS is down the main straight. And today, scratch that, because Hugo's coming straight back at him. That just supports the theory I was saying of how powerful the DRS is, because that was easy pickings for Hugo Skywalker as he moves back into the lead this one.
If he was Lewis Hamilton, it's pretty much hammer time for him.
Look at the car on the wall. We have a car on the wall. Sorry to talk over you there. That is... wow. Who's that? That's Ronnie. So the call here from Slick. I mean, how is your bottle here? Because if you don't pit and your teammate comes in for soft tyres, you are going to be absolutely cooked at this restart. But if Slick does pit and the rest of them stay out, he is absolutely risking it here. I think he's coming in, Ewan.
Yeah, Hugo's dropping back.
Wow.
So they might be doing a double stack here, and that could be trouble in the steward's room for Hugo Skywalker. But Slick
staying out.
And Hugo boxing, and all the others stay out. So this is going to be a spicy restart for us as a neutral, as 5 drivers stay out. Slick 6th, and Hariberman almost jumping. No, he's got that front wing from the castle section. But yeah, this is absolutely turned this race upside down with Slick provisionally the leader, but he's got 5 drivers to get past.
Wow, 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 wow. That is... Well, I was saying it could be dramatic here, and the Astons going on those mediums, they are really rolling the dice here. I mean, they were comfortably leading this race 1-2, and they both decided to pit then for a fresh set of boots, and they're going to have to get some serious overtaking done. Even the 3 cars in front of them, Ewan, I mean, Hypercoast, his mediums, they're only 4 laps old.
With my master being that far back, but when does Liv
there he goes.
Go? It's late, he's gone. For P1, it's absolute drama.
There's contact at the back. Yeah, there's contact at the back, and I think that's all because of this chaos into the first corner. There is contact there between Codematic and we've got the Williams and the wall. That is the Williams and the wall of Penzug. So that was the one driver that has really lost out, and Codematic has almost put Hugo Skywalker there into the barrier, trying to hang on to that 4th place. They're still going wheel to wheel, but there's a move for the lead. That is my master ahead of Liv then down that 2nd straight. He's got the move sorted that he needed to do at this restart, and Hugo has kept the position critically, Ewan, but Codematic is still wheel to wheel with Slick here.
Yeah, exactly. Slick makes a move as that's a Mercedes Luke to Red spun round, and that's his race over. But yeah, Hugo and Slick getting the man of Codematic, but that was a dramatic restart. Codematic with his elbows out, and let's see, lots of contact there. So let's see if there was any damage for Hugo and Slick. That was the risk of this restart with them being behind most drivers. But yeah, the pace look rapid for the two Aston Martins, and they've made some moves so far.
Yeah, Hugo's on a charge here. I mean, he smells an opportunity here to take some points out of his teammate in the championship, because he is absolutely flying, and he is all over the tail of Hyperghost on those fresh mediums. Slick has recovered a little bit here, but there is a bit of a gap between the two. He will still have DRS next time around, but you can see Hyperghost knows that he needs to get a move on here, Ewan, because he's all over the tail of the Red Bull. They're all absolutely nose to tail.
Yeah, exactly. Liv has dropped back to about 9 tenths here, so really not ideal for Liv, who was leading this restart. So yeah, my master leading the way, and it's
going to get the power.
Hugo is going to go round the outside of the two. That's a bit like Daniel Ricciardo-esque, but on the outside he's going to go on the inside of Liv.
There he goes. He's going to get late on the brakes. They made contact. That was risky. He was hardly alongside the Red Bull there. So that was super risky, considering what is at play here for him. They're still coming back at him. The Alpine's having to back out of it. There is Liv trying it around the outside. Surely they're going to make contact there. Yes, they do. And the Red Bull hits the wall. The Red Bull does hit the wall there. He's not got any damage. And Slick has also made the overtake as well. So good overtaking there from Slick as well there, Ewan, to somehow pick through the chaos in that moment. Thing here, like you're saying there, Ewan, Hugo now leads on this final lap, but we know that long start-finish straight, I mean, it's key to have DRS. We could see a change here for lead right up to the very line. Yeah,
exactly. My master maybe has some ERS saved up.
Oh, the touch!
Wow, Slick goes for the move in the castle section, and my master needs to go.
It's going to be a dash to the line here, and I don't think Slick is going to do anything about it as well. So Hugo Skywalker, a great recovery from him to take a fantastic victory here in Azerbaijan, ahead of Mindmaster, ahead of Slick. To go side by side there. Here we go then. We're about to find out what's going to happen here. We've got 5 red lights ahead of the drivers here at Suzuka. And we are underway. We've already got a drive-through penalty for a jump start for Hariboman further down the order, but it's a decent start from Hugo. Then he's going to have a little look down the inside on My Master. They get very close. The Mercedes gets a bit wide. There's an RB spinning around in the background, but it is My Master who hangs on just about in the lead then, ahead of Hugo, ahead of Liv, and a recovering Alpine there. I think that was Hypercoast actually, almost going onto the grass there, but I think it was a ruthless guy, Ewan, that had a spin at the start, but My Master still leads.
Yeah, exactly. They went 2 by 2 by 2 through there. The Red Bull also looking very close, and Hyperghost looking to make the move on Free Guy, who had a very good qualifying position, as Hugo almost puts it in the wall, and Liv is looking very close. He almost goes for a move, but doesn't think to go for a move. So yeah, it's as you were at the start, but gets past Penzog as well, and it's going to look like Hugo Skywalker is going to go for the move, and Free Guy is looking close. He's going to send it on the inside, and My Master tries to hold it on the outside of Hugo Skywalker, but cannot keep that stick, and this is a proper scrap in the midfield on those hard tyres. They don't have to stop again, but they are provisionally P1. But let's see if they can keep going, but these hards really aren't switching on at the moment.
It's a real conundrum in terms of what they're going to do, and there's Code Manic trying to brave move around the outside. Oh my word, he's gone spinning off, got on the curb, and well, that was almost terrifying to watch that on board, because he's gone sliding off the circuit, and he's thankfully, by some miracle, not got any front wing damage. The two Williams are actually pulling each other along with the DRS, and there goes My Master then back in front of Hugo for P5. They chop and change positions once more then. This moment here for Hugo in terms of this championship. It's been so close for this whole season, but Slick missing tonight is surely now going to hand a massive advantage to his teammate. My Master will cross the line first, but it will be Hugo who wins here at Suzuka. He didn't win last week in Azerbaijan, but he makes sure of it this time around, and he picks up that victory. Free Guy gets the first podium for Sauber in 2 seasons. What a result for him. This is a critical lap, as we've seen. Hyper goes, Darky's gone up to 5th. His teammates gone 5th, and there we go. Hugo sets an even faster time then. Can anyone stop him in this qualifying session at 13.5? My Master then is going to come up to line, and he doesn't improve. Now that's a shock. Slick is only 6th. Incredible stuff, and you can see the gaps there. They are enormous. On the way here, we got 5 red lights ahead of the drivers here in Mexico, and we are underway then. So Hugo, does he get a good start? I'm not sure he has, and a Ruthless Guy's already ahead of him before the camera even changed. A Ruthless Guy then takes the lead here in Mexico, but you can see they're all getting this slipstream straight away. Hugo's trying to come back at him into the first corner. He got My Master right behind as well. Hugo sends it down the inside then. The Alpine gets a bit punchy as well in the background, but Hugo does indeed get out in front, and there is more contact. That is a Ruthless Guy going from last to 11th in the space of a couple of corners, and it looked like there was just too many cars trying to go through that chicane there, and it's all kicked off there, Ewan.
Yeah, we just got tagged round down into turn 3, and it's all stacking up in that midfield. They're all in that, and Slick is getting crucially stuck behind in 6th place at the moment, as there's more drama at the back with a Ruthless Guy still fighting Komatic and Penzog side by side. But yeah, it's a hugely stacked up midfield of this grid, as it all stacked up in turn 3
right now, and he's gonna get it done. Look at the speed on that Mercedes. He breezes past the Alpine, and that just shows the power of the DRS here, Ewan, and if you haven't got it, you are pretty much a sitting duck.
Yeah, and this isn't over for these guys like My Master and Hyperghost. If My Master can use that DRS, he could drag this whole pack back to Hugo. As you can see, it drops down into 9/10 now. So if they can keep working together like they are and keep this pace up, then they could get back to Hugo Skywalker and make this lead pack down from 1st to 8th. Philly in the castle section, in the stadium section, and that is a safety car.
Now, I think they're going to get caught out here, I think some of them are going to get caught out, because where that safety car is, it's going to catch the leader. It is going to catch the leader here, and you do not see this often. Darky has retired on the circuit, so we'll see where that goes in terms of, will this upgrade to a red flag? But Penzo cuts the pit lane line, and he cuts it again, so I don't know if that was a bit of lag there, but a bit of rage there from Darky. But look at this, your 5th down into 10th have all got a free pit stop. I know we're early on here, but the way the tyres behave here at Mexico, Ewan, this could be a huge advantage for them.
Exactly, all 4 of the leaders have stayed out, and this is absolutely advantage My Master. We saw in Suzuka the drivers that boxed under that early safety car really just got that track position and ran away with it.
They are coming in. Yeah, and so does Slick. Okay, that is interesting then. Oh, and Hugo's got disqualified. That's got to be a glitch, surely. That has to be a glitch. I mean, unless that car...
I think he may have overtaken the safety car.
Oh my god, I can't believe my eyes. Just when you thought this season has had enough drama already, he's got himself disqualified. I mean, the car has just stopped there in the middle of the pit lane. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
Yeah, I think he might have overtaken the safety car coming into the pit lane.
Oh my.
And he only gets about 2 seconds to give the position back to the safety car. And it was 2 seconds too much as Hugo Skarka is out of this race and disqualified. On the outside here into turn 1.
Oh, he's sending it down the inside. There he goes. He's going to hit the race leader, though. Oh, my word. Free guy gets spun around. And, I mean, thank God he didn't take someone else with him there because that was a Hail Mary move down the inside. And he might just take Slick with him. There's a bit of glitching going on there. The Sauber jumps up in the air, but he's going to go down into 6th place here. And a Ruthless guy, I'd say, is actually making a move on a Mindmaster. He's down the inside, and they make a bit of contact themselves. He has to just concede and settle for 3rd. But Free guy there, I mean, he must have lost his head here because he's going for crazy moves here.
A Ruthless guy, my master, who takes your pick down into turn 1? Who's going to win this?
Meanwhile, Harbourman is disqualified for multiple penalties, but who cares about that because the Ruthless guy is going to take the lead here outright into the first corner. My master, though, is gaining and he might get the pair of them. Oh, they make contact in the first corner and they make more contact. They're both off. Incredible. A Ruthless guy is spat off the circuit and he gets a penalty to cut the grass and gets back going again. He gives up the position because he'll get a penalty for that. Meanwhile, behind, Slick has been passed by Hyperghost. I mean, what on earth happened there? My master is sideways again here, so he's still not safe in the closing part of this race. Comatic has got another penalty, so I think Slick is fine for 4th, but a Ruthless guy, I mean, what on earth happened there? I mean, this isn't over because Liv is all over the tail of the Mercedes and he might just have a send into the arena section. And I tell you, a Ruthless guy is still right there as well. Oh, they made contact. They're both in the barrier and they are both out. You just knew something was going to happen at some point, and he's reset to track. That'll be a 10-second penalty. So that might mean Slick might get all the way onto the podium here. It's an absolute disaster for him. And Slick's off. He's made a mistake. He's got a puncher, for crying out loud. My Meister is going to come around the final corner and he will win this incredible race at Mexico. And, well, that is controversy for you. Slick has got a puncher. Unbelievable. He is crawling to the line, your championship protagonist, just when you thought there was enough drama in this race. He has a puncher, and he is crawling on 3 tyres there across the line, and my God, Ewan, that was incredible.
He needs to push. Kobatic could take a dramatic pole position here with the conditions worsening. Here he comes, up to the line, the last corner. Just get it to the line, son.
Can he do it? Can he do it? He comes around the final corner then, puts the throttle down, he comes up to the line and takes pole. Wow. Incredible. In the terrible conditions that it's become here in this session at COTA, he has sensationally took pole from absolutely nowhere. I did not expect that. I thought the laps were done here. 2 rounds left of the season. It's a Red Bull front row lockout. We've got 5 red lights ahead of the drivers here in COTA, and we are underway. Kobanik then gets us going ahead of his teammate, going towards turn 1, and Liv has had a terrible start actually. He's having to cover off the Alpine and the Aston Martin in the background, taking a really tight angle into that first corner. He holds them off though, and the Red Bulls do maintain their lead, and Hugo makes contact with the RB in the background. He's off the track. He is off the track and manages to recover it in the end, but he still is remaining down in P5 then, so not a good start for our championship leader, and he is seriously in the walls there.
Exactly, and what a start from Penzug up to 4th. Benefited from those 2 5-place grid penalties, but yeah, 4th place for Penzug, rooting for 4th in the championship. He's looking pretty good at here as Hugo Skarka really looking racy against Penzug. Penzug really struggling to keep Hugo Skarka behind, and Hugo showing his pace.
So it was Penzug and Hugo making the positions, but not anymore. It's Hugo now up into 4th. It was a Ruthless guy and Action Wreck who both had pretty poor starts there, but there goes Hugo then up into that 4th place.
Team orders here as Liv is looking racy, and he's going to go down the inside in turn 1. They're going to go side by side down the S's, and Liv has made that move stick. That was pretty clumsy, but he's made it stick.
He takes the lead then off his teammate, and look at this, your top 4 are absolutely nose to tail here. battling it out. And there goes Hyperghost as well, trying to hang around the outside. Can't get that move done. Now switches to the outside of this corner, and that is an unorthodox line to take. But he might just make the move, you know, and he has. Cuts the corner though. He might get in trouble for that. He might have to give up the position if he doesn't want to get a penalty later on, but it doesn't seem like he's going to do so. And look at that, Hugo is already behind Komanik here, and there he goes. He makes the move on Komanik, and his start is going from bad to worse, Ewan.
Yeah, exactly. First to fourth on this lap, or first to third on this lap, and challenging from fourth from who would you expect? Hugo Skywalker making moves once again. Your championship leader going round the outside at turn 12. Can he make it stick? He's on the inside now for this second corner. Hugo Skywalker has the inside, and he's made it stick. Can Komatik get a switchback, find a switchback, or find a dive bomb?
Well, he's having a little look on your championship leader, and there's a little bit of wheel banging. He's trying desperately to get a good exit, but he's not going to do it. There goes Hugo down the inside then on Hyperghost. Gets it slowed down just about, although Hyperghost is going to hang it around the outside. Can he come back at the Aston Martin? He's going to have to switch it once more, and he might just do that, you know. A great exit from the Alpine. Hugo, though, will have the inside line this time around, and I'm not too sure Hyperghost can come back at that, because that is great driving there from Hugo just to place the car at the right part of the circuit, and will take back the lead here. And well, Hugo, he's recovered well, you'd have to say, Ewan, and just when these conditions have got a bit tricky here, he just timed it perfectly to make his move.
Yeah, exactly, and that lap seems like a lap for the championship.
And I think a ruthless guy is going to send that around the outside and not quite get the job done. But this man here, Hugo Skywalker, your championship leader, is going to extend his championship lead. Where quite brilliant drive here. He won the sprint, and he's going to win the main race. Hugo wins in Kota, and My Master then picks up second place after those penalties for Hyperghost. He gets a second podium ever. The case when there's a lot on the line. And here we go. Here come 5 red lights ahead of the drivers here in Brazil, and there's not a long wait for the drivers as the lights go out incredibly quickly there. And it's not a good start from Hugo, although he recovers it very nicely. Had a bit of wheel spin. There was a bit of contact into that first corner. I think that was the Haas and the RB making contact, and they make contact again. That's Kaisi on his debut there, getting off the circuit. He recovers it well and maintains third place, but that very easily could have ended in tears. There's a Williams off of Penzug right in the background, and a reset to the track as well, just for good measure. Hyperghost getting very wide there, but other than that, they have all managed to negotiate the first sector there. Yeah, because there is My Master right in the background, trying to make the move on Liv down the straight. Oh, and they have made contact, and he is in the wall, and that is some miracle that he is not DNF there, My Master, because he just hit that wall incredibly hard and has broken the whole front wing off. How on earth that did not rip a tyre off you, and I do not know.
How on earth is he not out?
That's incredible.
An extremely lucky guy. He realistically should have been out there. A simulation damage. So with that, My Master down to 12th, no front wing. He's going to have to peel into the pit lane. But yeah, he slammed into the wall at about 150 miles per hour.
My Master, you know, at the back again, and I think it is. And he's broke his front wing. He's got no front wing on that Mercedes, and that could be curtains on his championship. And there is Hyperghost, though, taking the lead once again, and an easy overtake. I mean, the DRS is super powerful here, because he obviously had it down the start-finish straight just to set that move up, and there he goes, back into the lead once more. And well, My Master here, he's got to hope for a safety car, Ewan.
Yeah, exactly. I personally think that he's been in absolutely way too many incidents at this point of the race. And Alpine and Red Bull going side by side. Liv getting past Hybrid Man. That was a bit argy-bargy. But
in the walls, he's dropped down a position, and he might drop down another, and that's an Alpine in the wall. That'll be a safety car, surely. Hybrid Man smashes into the barrier. And I tell you, there's no decision yet, so there's no guarantee that will be a safety car, but that is a massive collision, and well, game over for him once again.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so surprised that is not a safety car, because he is out of this race and in the wall. So that is shocking for Hybrid Man. I think they just got hooked, as Hyper has to throw a defensive move into into turn 1, and Hugo is maybe setting this move up to turn 4.
And there's the 2 Red Bulls as well, but let's focus on the lead, because there goes Hugo then for the lead, and there goes Crazy as well, having a little look to the inside, but couldn't make it. He didn't think of making the move, which is surprising, because right at the death. If you're Code Manic, you're just bringing this home. Here comes Hugo then. This could be a championship winning move. And there he goes. An easy pass on Hyperghost into a Skeeter Delago. And that might just be the overtake to wrap it all up in style, because we are on the final lap here. There'll be one more opportunity, you would imagine, Ewan, and it might just be coming up to the start-finish line for Hyperghost. He might have to make this move as the checker flag is waving.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, DRS is enabled before the finish line, so it is all to play for. But even if he doesn't win, the championship is sealed. Just needs to get through this last corner, and Hugo will be world champion. He has done a phenomenal season. Here he comes up to the line.
He's a bit out of shape, you know, Ewan. He's a bit out of shape there, and the Alpine is going to be all over him. Forget the championship for the minute, because this is going to be a real drag race to the line. And there goes the Alpine. We're 3 abreast across the line. It is Hyperghost who wins the race, but Hugo Skywalker is your F2 Season 23 World Champion. And it's the last race of the season. Here we go then. We've got 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And we are underway for the very last time this season. Hugo then gets a decent start. So too does Keezy though. He's going around the outside of Mindmaster, trying to get a run on him, and he does get a run. And Mindmaster is spun round. There was contact, I think, with the Red Bull in the background there, and then he is all the way down into 12th place once again. A bad start for Mindmaster, but it's a good start for Hugo Skywalker as he continues to lead the way. Look at that, the fast starting Darky there, up into 4th place, getting sideways though there. He drops down into 6th, but a chaotic start, as we should have expected here. And Keezy is already in the slipstream of Hugo, Ewan.
Oh, and that is Mindmaster, and that is the Red Bull Comatic, and Comatic is in the wall and out of the race. His wheel is gone, and that is a lot of debris on track. I think they just stuck together, like we saw with Mindmaster again in Brazil. So a crazy start to this race.
See there, he knows that he's in trouble here.
Yeah, exactly, and those tyres are really well, they're working for him, but not enough, as Kizzy takes the lead of this race, and Hugo is going to look to go round the outside at turn 6. They're going to go side by side. Hugo will have the inside for this move, and he pushes the Alpine of Hyperghost, and it's all to play for down into turn 9. It's going to be side by side. Hugo pushes the Alpine off, but Hyperghost gets that move back after being pushed off, so Hyperghost will be relieved about that, as there's a yellow flag at the back.
What they have to do here, they've got to figure the bigger picture. Troy's going to get picked off as well by Hariberman. Keezy then, there's another move in the back. Look at the Alpine sending it down the inside, trying to get a lot of them into that chicane. How on earth that didn't end in tears, I do not know. So Keezy, well, I tell you, it has actually, because the Alpine did get forced off the road there, and they're 3 wide behind. Look at that. I mean, it's just ridiculous, this race. We've got Hariberman then on the inside of Hugo, and he will take 3rd in the end. They're still wheel to wheel, but the Alpine, he hasn't done it yet, you know. They're still side by side even now. Hugo will have the inside line, and they are still going wheel to wheel. Hariberman gets it done. Troy just goes through as well, just for good measure. So that's Hugo now down into 5th, and he's back with Mindmaster once again. But you're right, Hyperghost has got the pace here. He's broke DRS again.
Take Hugo here. No, Troy here.
3 wide again. Look at this. I mean, that's ridiculous. The amount of times it's happened in this race, and there is contact. And Troy's in the wall, and he gets damage, and that is another one out of the picture. He gets a penalty. He gets another penalty. That's 13 seconds there out of nowhere. I'm sure he'll be absolutely furious about that, because I'm not quite sure what happened. But, well, that's his race in the bin, you'd have to say. He's pulling over, getting out of the way, and which once was a battle of 9 cars, it's now down to 7, Ewan.
Rivals will be fighting on this last lap, so that's going to be one to look out for. But the one we will be watching is this last lap battle for the win. There's 3 cars in it, and this could go any way. It could be any order this race win could be. It's a bit of a lottery with this DRS Kizzy really struggling, and it's going to be a miracle if he can win her.
Well, here we go then. What are you made of here? for this top three. Who is going to win this final race of the season? It's been a glorious F2 championship once more, and there's still plenty to settle here. It's going to be this three-way scrap here. This is the first opportunity here. Keezy is in the DRS of Hyperghost. He's going to make the move now. The Alpine moves to the inside. They're free wide once again. Incredible here on the last lap. Keezy then takes the lead. The Alpines are scrapping. They make contact behind, and well, Hariberman now is in the prime position here to take the lead. Incredible on the last lap here. He's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream. Has he got the move on Keezy? He hasn't just yet. They make contact. Incredible. And his teammate's going to come back at the inside and try and take that position off, and they make contact. The two teammates collide, and Hyperghost then is not going to get the win here because Keezy is still hanging on. There's another move right on the inside from Mindmaster. He's almost spun it, trying to crazy move up the inside, but it's going to be Keezy surely if he could just negotiate these last couple of corners. There is the Alpine. He doesn't send it up the inside in the last corner, and it is going to be Keezy for the very first time who wins here in TFR eSports on the very last race of the season. What a dramatic finish that was. Livers hit the wall in the background, but your podium of Keezy, Hyperghost and Hugo Skywalker. What a race that was, Ewan, to crown it all off.
That is F2 for you, ladies and gentlemen. That is a story of F2, that last lap. It was a bit like Mexico, where just everything happened on that last lap. We saw 3 wide for that race win, and Keezy taking home his first ever win. Loads of storylines. Hugo taking Mindmaster for P3, a podium after Hariberman went a bit too ambitious for that move, and the Alpines collided actually.
He's got a puncher.
Turn 9.
He's literally he's got half the car hanging up in the air.